All right, let's dive into what might be the single biggest security upgrade in the history of the internet. We're talking about a massive global race against time, a race to protect basically every secret we've ever put online from a completely new kind of threat.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. What if every single secret on the internet could one day be just unlocked? Every private message, every bank transfer, every classified government file, poof, wide open. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, this isn't science fiction. It's a very real future that a lot of very smart people are working around the clock to stop.
And the thing that could make this happen is the quantum computer. Now, this is not just a faster version of what's sitting on your desk. No way. This is a machine that plays by a totally different set of rules. The strange and honestly mind-bending rules of quantum mechanics.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Quantum computers? That sounds like a problem for my grandkids. But the thing is, the threat isn't in the future, it's here, right now. And it's basically a ticking digital time bomb.
Here's why. It's because of a strategy called harvest now, decrypt later. You've got adversaries, think nation-states with huge resources, who are literally sucking up and hoarding massive amounts of our encrypted data today. They can't read a bit of it yet, but they're making a bet. They're betting that one day soon they'll get their hands on a powerful enough quantum computer, and on that day, all those secrets they've been collecting for years, they'll be an open book.
So think about it. Any data that needs to stay secret for, say, more than 10 or 15 years is already vulnerable. We're talking about the big stuff, national security secrets, a company's crown jewels, its intellectual property. And it's also your stuff, your personal medical records, your financial data. All of it is being collected as we speak. So what is it about a quantum computer that makes it the ultimate codebreaker? To really get that, we've got to pop the hood and see what makes these things tick. Okay, so your laptop, your phone, they all use bits. And a bit is super simple, right? It's either a 0 or a 1. That's it. But a qubit is where things get really, really weird. Thanks to a wild quantum property called superposition, a qubit can be a 0, a 1, or, and this is the key, both at the exact same time. And because of that, their power doesn't just add up, it grows exponentially. I mean, to put this in perspective, just 500 perfectly stable qubits could hold more possible values than there are atoms in the entire known universe. It's just a completely different scale of computing.
You know, the best way to think about superposition is like a spinning coin. While it's spinning in the air, is it heads or tails? Well, it's neither. It's kind of in a state of both. It's only when it lands on the table, or when we measure the qubit, that it has to pick one, heads or tails, 0 or 1. That ability to hold all the possibilities at once is its superpower. And then you add in entanglement. This is where things get even crazier. You can link two qubits together, and they become connected. If you measure one and find out it's a 0, you instantly know the other one is a 1, even if it's on the other side of the galaxy. It's so weird that Einstein himself called it spooky action at a distance. And that spooky connection is a critical part of what makes quantum computers so powerful. But all that amazing hardware is useless without the right software. The real threat, the thing that gives security experts nightmares, is one specific algorithm that was figured out decades ago, way before anyone could actually build one of these machines. So there are really two main algorithms we worry about. First, there's Grover's. It's a problem, for sure, but it's manageable. It weakens a certain type of encryption, but we can fight back by just making our keys longer. Simple enough. But then there's Shor's algorithm. And Shor's is the big one. It's an existential, game-over level threat to the public key encryption that basically runs the internet. And for that one, a bigger key won't help. We need to replace the whole system. And this quote just nails the difference in scale. We're not talking about something getting a little bit faster. We're talking about a problem that is impossible for today's best supercomputers. Like, won't be solved before the sun burns out impossible, becoming solvable in an afternoon, maybe even in minutes. Okay, so the threat is enormous. It's real. But here's the good news. The world's top cryptographers have not been sitting on their hands. They saw this coming from a mile away, and for years, they've been building a new kind of digital armor. And that solution is called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. Now, the most important thing to get about PQC is that this is software that runs on the computers we all use today. You don't need a quantum computer to fight a quantum computer. You just need smarter math. So to find this smarter math, the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, basically held a global multi-year bake-off.
They put out a call to cryptographers everywhere. Send us your best quantum-resistant ideas. They got a ton of submissions. And then, for 5 solid years, the entire world's security community tried to smash them to pieces. Only the toughest, most secure algorithms made it to the end. And what we ended up with is a new set of standards. The frontrunners are based on a type of math called lattices, and they're fantastic all-around performers. But just in case, NIST also standardized a backup option that's based on older, really well-understood math. It's all about mathematical diversity. We are not putting all of our eggs in one basket this time.
So we have the new armor. We have the standards. Great. Now comes the really hard part, getting the entire planet to actually upgrade. Welcome to the great crypto migration.
And look, this isn't some far-off dream. The deadlines are real, and they are coming up fast. By 2030, the old stuff we use today is officially on the chopping block. The US government wants all of its critical systems done by 2035, and big tech companies like Microsoft are aiming to be done even sooner. The race is absolutely on.
For any company or organization trying to do this, it's a 4-step process. First, you just have to figure out where all your old crypto is hiding. That's your inventory. Step 2, you prioritize. You tackle the systems protecting that super-sensitive long-term data first. Step 3 is the careful part. You test and deploy in a hybrid mode, running both the old and new crypto side by side to make sure nothing breaks. And finally, you make the full switch and make sure it stays that way.
So, when this is all said and done, what does the world actually look like? What's the big picture goal here?
Well, the real prize here isn't just about swapping one algorithm for another. It's about building something called crypto agility. That's a fancy term for a simple idea. Building our systems so that the next time a major threat comes along, we can swap out our cryptography easily without having to rebuild everything from scratch.
To put it another way, this whole quantum threat is actually a huge opportunity. It's forcing us to go back and pay off decades of what you could call cryptographic debt, all those old, clunky, hard-coded systems that are a nightmare to update. We finally have a chance to do it right and build an internet infrastructure that's actually designed to last.
You know, the first era of the internet was built on a foundation of math that we hoped was too hard to break. Well, we now know that foundation has a shelf life. So the real question for all of us is, as we step into this next digital age, are we going to build this one on a foundation that's actually built to last?